Okay, so it is
August 9th.
the 9th?
Mm-hmm.
Friday the 9th, August 9th. The things that are kind of going on today in this area kind of continued from the last area. Where were we last week? We were down in Thousand Oaks at Jamba by a Starbucks, and tons of people were showing up with horizontal striped shirts. Lady just walked by me right now, running her hand through her hair. One of the guys, if you weren't looking. I've already seen in the 15 minutes I'm here probably 15 or 20 horizontal stripers, and I've seen several flower prints, which I'm guessing might ramp up. So we'll kind of, Brittany can witness that, and you should probably call them out to the camera. And let me just, very important, the girl walking by and running her hand through her hair, that's very important to kind of observe. Now, this camera here is pointed the other way, but my car camera can catch her, or those people. Okay, so, and if we have to turn the camera, we will. Actually, I might want to, because I'm facing away. You know, let me switch seats with you, because that way, if I'm looking out this way, and the people walking this way, they're going to see me looking that direction, so they're going to try to trigger me, and there'll be a higher traffic rate, right? If that makes sense. Just keep your eye on the record button.
Are you able to scoot a tiny bit that way?
Yeah.
Sorry. You know me and the sun.
Okay, so we're playing musical chairs.
And I know.
Grab one. Oops. Okay. So I have on my junk clothes. Sorry about my food all over me.
Okay, so now what's going to happen is, because I'm in a direction that there could possibly be eye contact. Okay, notice the horizontal stripe just walked by. Okay, so just in this less than 1 minute, I think we've had 2 horizontal stripes walk by. Okay, so I'm now in a position where, even though I'm wearing glasses, you would assume there's some kind of eye contact, whether the glasses are on or off, and because of that, people are going to say, oh, he's looking in my direction, so I'm going to try to trigger him into reactions. And the reason we switched is because there's a higher rate of traffic, like walking traffic. This way, they might be going to these places, so we're going to have a higher rate of random provoking strangers that we have witnessed, or Brittany has witnessed with me now, all across California, from Sherman Oaks to Newberry Park. And so these are serious questions that need to be answered of what is going on, why is it going on, and why am I told that I'm either...
I'm sorry, can I grab
Oh, yeah.
jacket? Sorry about
Why am I told that either I'm crazy and it's okay, or I'm a criminal and it's okay, or I suffer from mental illness? I had some kind of 5-year-old mental illness label, which I've never heard of.
5-year-old?
That's when it starts, 5 years old. And so I'm being hunted by worldwide support from a mental illness label. Well, I've never heard of that.
Right.
So these are questions that need to be answered, because really what they're saying is we flag and kill 5-year-olds, hunt them down and kill them, because whether someone's crazy or mentally ill or whatever is irrelevant to their actions. Which is why we have judicial systems and constitutions and protections for people, so that crazy psychotics with power can't hunt them down and kill them because they're having a bad day or whatever, right? Okay, I'm just trying to...
It's recording.
I know it's recording. I'm trying to... Okay, whatever. Wasted energy. Okay, so let's get this thing started. Okay, so next horizontal stripe. Okay. Oh, and these are the 2 honks. Okay. Next, horizontal striper coming this way. Okay, so in your mind, what do you think the count? I sort of clued you in a little afterwards, but how many?
20.
Okay.
Right?
Well, I've seen a good, easily 20 in the 15 minutes I've been here. Horizontal stripers. I've seen one girl go like that. We've now seen the honking horn twice, and then the flower prints, which are very subtle, but they might ramp up, and if they ramp up, you'll see. Okay, so let's see. Let's start this. And I sort of added, okay, we're going to go a little off silver claw. I highly doubt we're going to make it to anything Golden State.
No.
Sports medical.
Do you want to start with that or no?
No, because I'm jumping to Brian Longbotham, which we kind of talked a little about at Universal Studios.
Okay.
It's pretty much sent after me to have me killed. And that starts around 98. So what you need to understand is that not only was Mike Huntley come home, I want to start a company with you, I'm going to hunt you down and kill you. Then my father, in around, let's say 2007, Kevin, we want you to work here. Kevin's trying to take over the company, he's a monster. Right?
Right.
And my father wanted me to move in his house for a year, manipulating me to move back with Mike Huntley and my mother. Well, they could sort of try to get close and spy and collect things and try to twist and contort and use against me. All interrelated and linked. When my father marries, he also wants me in at the same time, while he's marrying Janet Nordet, a Cuban lady, which goes south, and supposedly she went to jail for 3 years for solicitation to commit murder to kill him. Do you see a repetitive pattern of what happens to people around my father he doesn't like?
Yeah.
Right. And then you try to get away, and it just gets worse and worse.
Liverpool will be
off
Let
people.
you.
Yeah. So now I have no direct proof about Janet. I just know the same exact things are being done to me that were done to her. Example, my father's entire office was calling the cops over and over, claiming Janet did this, Janet did that. Janet supposedly came in and said, this is my office, and this and that.
Have you ever talked to her?
I did. For years I didn't want to get in the middle, and then for years I called her up, and she kind of like, I saw some of your website, and thanks for doing some of that, but she didn't want to get into specifics and this and that. When shit really got hot, she just closed, tucked tail like everyone else. But what I can tell you is that being that I went in that office and the same thing's around, Kevin's doing this to us, Kevin's doing that to us, well, and I'm watching these mass endless attacks, right? And they're contacting the cops, and the cops are showing up following me from place to place, and the cops were watching you, and this and that, and you're thinking, this is strange, because this just happened to Janet, except the difference was that I believed my father, because he was my father, and I thought he was a good guy, and
Because why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah, I mean,
we need to eliminate the
you're born into a family, and you believe that these are good people, because they raise you, and they do all these things, and
You have no reason not to until you do.
yeah, you're born in your surroundings, and you think your surroundings are the right surroundings, and
you don't know
unless you're born into like a monster family and you know better. But my family, they all seemed like good people to your face.
Right.
Until little did I really, when my brother was telling me these weird things like blood is thicker than water, while trying to bash Greg Wall's skull under the crowbar and wanting me to help him, I thought, it's just my brother.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he had to learn it from somewhere.
Very true.
So anyways, I don't know.
And you haven't talked to him in years, right?
Who, my brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe 37 or 38. I don't know. Somewhere around there, I just started figuring things
How old
out.
are you now?
47.
So like 10 years?
Something like that. I'm not exactly sure.
Did he ever reach out to you or no?
Well, we were close.
Right. But I mean...
But I didn't understand that it was two-faced. No, not after I started figuring shit out. They realized, and I saw one post by his wife's on the internet saying, like, I just flipped out and this and that. And my mother's the only one trying to keep in touch because nobody can talk to me. And I responded like she's a lying piece of shit, trying to cover up
this.
Jason bashing Greg while skull in the crowbar and trying to cover that up by hunting me down with his threats. Me and my friends are going to put you in a mental institution.
Right. And
Things
he
like that.
reached out to you directly after that.
Same person.
You know, I can't remember specific time frames. I
Yeah.
just remember, hey, come skiing with us, come out and see your nephew, come do this, and the entire time we're turning people against you and trying to trigger you and set you up and all these freaky things. But I couldn't place where it's coming from. I just knew that every store I walked into, okay, more flower print. Okay, every store I walked into, every person I had contact with, whether it's in Florida or California or anywhere, 'cause my brother was in Florida, just constant mental batterings to mentally batter me, mentally bludgeon me to death. Just like bashing people's skulls in with crowbars. Okay, without physically bashing people's skulls in with crowbars.
Yeah.
So the point is that just like my father, okay, you know, you're lying to me, you're saying I'm imagining it, and you're taking part. And you're witnessing it, and you're not saying it's wrong.
Right.
And then you're breaking down, you know what you did. Okay, more horizontal strike over there.
Yeah. Jeez, you have a good eye.
I'm just trained.
No, I know. That's what I mean.
And the point is that if my friend is walking down the street and 1,000 people show up with baseball bats trying to bludgeon his skull in,
you're going to do something about it.
I'm either going to do whatever it takes to stop it,
Right.
whether that be calling the cops
You
or
do the right thing.
screaming. That's more of an orange shirt.
Yeah.
Screaming, someone help, whatever.
You're going to do the right
But I'm not
thing.
going to sit there like, well, I'm neutral, or I don't see it, and, you know, I know there's gallons of blood falling out of your skull, but I think you developed a rare bleeding disorder, and I think we need to cure you by bashing your skull in with more baseball bats.
That makes no sense.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay, so, and by the way, you're also not allowed to tell anyone to defend yourself, but I'm on your side.
And you can't know what you're doing, so it's fine. You can't know what you did.
Yeah, and it's not about anything except for you know what you did.
Right.
Okay, so, but I'm on your side, or I'm neutral. Yeah, okay, sure.
Right.
Right. Okay, so you say, this is kind of continuation last week, you say what's done to my life is sad, you say it's horrific, and it is, but it's more than that. It's unfucking acceptable.
Oh, absolutely
It's unacceptable. It's not, we're way past, you know, to me sad is like, oh, you broke up with your girlfriend, oh, you sad, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Like,
do. No, it's just, I didn't have another word
Yeah.
to describe, because it is. It's
and the
all
truth
these
is there
things.
is no words
Right.
to describe the situation. That's how freaky the situation is.
Right.
That's how unfathomable
It
the
is.
situation is. And the freakiest thing is nobody is concerned that it's being done to me.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Unfathomable.
They're
is a
on the
good
side
word.
of having me killed, and it's worldwide. Okay, if someone can explain that.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Because there's no explanation. I mean, no justification.
Correct. There's no...
No justification.
What crime could I... Even if I did commit a crime, it's still the crime is
It doesn't
supposed to...
match the punishment?
Yeah, the punishment is supposed to meet... to fit the crime.
Right.
So, if you stole a 1-cent Jolly Rancher at 10 years old,
Who cares?
then why would you be hunted and
You wouldn't.
crowbars slammed in your skull for every day of your life, the rest of your life until you're dead? Or let's
You
think
wouldn't.
of a better argument. If
you rob a store or something.
Yeah, okay, if you robbed a store. Okay, let's say someone robs a store. They either go to jail for a short period of time or they pay the money back or something, right? And it's done, and it's not doesn't look good on you or your record or anything.
But it wouldn't.
More horizontal, right? But it ends there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not followed from
Not
place to place.
ongoing.
You're a thief, and every day you're a thief, and a crowbar bashed in the skull of their head until they die for the rest of their life.
They would, no, you pay, whatever.
Right.
You pay your dues or whatever, and then you're done.
Yeah. Okay, so now beware because we have Allied Universal Security or
I
some
saw
security
them.
coming this way.
Oh, yeah.
We also have 2 black and white girls that have showed up. Okay, so so a black and white girl just hopped in this car, and a black and white girl is coming this way. You see at the same time how they're
clothing.
strategically timed.
Yeah.
Okay, so remember that this is one of the locations that Allied Security has made the statement that it's illegal to take pictures on private property, telling me I have to delete what's on my camera, showing that he's involved in something, and
I hadn't even unpacked my
then saying, well,
bag.
because you didn't delete what's on your camera, you're not allowed here.
Seriously?
Huh?
That's like an invasion of like private property as well, isn't it? Telling you to delete this stuff that you have on there. Well, I guess I didn't.
Well, it
snatch
shows you have
from
something to hide.
Right.
I'm allowed to take the pictures, and the pictures belong to me. And if people are showing up like 100,000 people in horizontal stripes, and I take a picture, and they're walking by going like this one sequentially after the next, and I get proof of that, and he goes, well, you have to delete what's on there.
Right, they're hiding something.
They have something to hide, and then they follow me from place to place publicly, from shopping center to shopping center.
Right.
You're not allowed at any public properties or out of your house.
Right.
Then they're involved in a murder operation and trying to cover up their murder operation.
Because why else would they care?
Correct, and I've had Allied Universal Security follow me from place to place, saying you're not allowed to take pictures in public or on private property, trying to stop me from ever getting any proof of the things being done to me.
Right.
Okay, so, let's see. Okay, so back to 19, and by the way, I believe with their cryptic threat messages, that Allied Universal Security has something to do with Universal Studios with some kind of threat message. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
With
You
the
touched on that
police.
last time, I think.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And they do that a lot. Example, Brian Weaver sent after me in 8th grade to hunt me down, or contacted all throughout 8th grade, high school. And then Brian Longbotham, the Bryans, takes over at 21 or 23 or whatever. Right? Okay, so back to 1998 and Brian Longbotham, but remember, Brian Weaver was contacted. It's funny, good timing. Brian Weaver was contacted to do the same things. A third black and white.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Brian Weaver was contacted to do the same things all the way back to 8th grade, which I just said. So, don't you find it strange? Hey, Brian Weaver pretend to bully for 15 minutes Brian Hirsch, and then Brian Hirsch and him say he bullied me, and
Right.
Kevin's a bully, and it's his behavior, and then Brian, 100 things like that with Brian Weaver growing up, and then I go to college, and then I want to get into 3D animation, and Brian Longbotham is sent after me to continue
Right.
what Brian Weaver's doing, right?
Yeah.
And then Brian Weaver comes back in with like the 10th year high school reunion, and they have a bachelor party where a stripper comes for one of my friends, and he tells me that what's going on is a public shaming.
Really?
Well, who is Brian? What is Brian, the righteous God figure? Is Brian Weaver going around saying, "Are you a good person or a bad person?" And if I feel you're a bad person, I'm God, so I'm sending you to hell, right? Oh,
Ridiculous.
by the way, since I said that, I totally forgot. No, I'm glad I said that. I'm wearing. Okay, this is the Lord's Gym T-shirt. This is a repurchase of the shirt I bought at 21 years old or 20 years old. Lord's Gym, and on the back.
His pain, your game.
Yeah. So his pain, your gain. Okay.
If
Now,
I sit there, is it going to be, can I still be seen?
what?
Can I sit in that chair?
Yeah, we just have to turn the camera. Why, is the sun in your eyes?
I'm like, it's on my back.
Okay, we
that
gotta do
okay?
it quick.
Yeah, keep going. I mean, I think I'll still be in the frame.
Okay, so Brian, we're kind of talking and readjusting. So, okay, so I go out and start an organization. This is extremely important. I go off to Southern Oregon State College. Whatever, 20 years old, 19, I'm not sure. And, okay, more horizontal stripes and more flower prints. Okay, so I go off to college, and I'm cruising around Ashland, Oregon into one of those jokey t-shirt shops, and I see this shirt, the Lord's Gym shirt, and so, whatever, that's funny, I buy it. Okay, do you see any problem here with my behavior?
No, they're selling it. Like, come on. Now.
Correct. And if you walk into a jokey t-shirt shop,
You're gonna find some stuff.
there's the entire store is like that with different jokes.
Exactly. That's why you go in there.
Correct. Now also notice the two Mercedes together, which are probably intentional, one with no plates. Okay. And by the way, I have video all today with groups of Mercedes following around.
Really?
Yeah. Okay.
I can ask you if anything happened in there.
When I walked in, not much, not like usual, but when I walked in, she said welcome, which is a little,
Welcome.
instead of hi, how are you, they go welcome, and I think the reason they do that is the hint about them putting the lizard tail on my welcome mat.
Yeah, that's horrible.
The girl I purchased this from was polite and professional, although the other one to someone else said, have a good one, like you saw over and over and over at Jamba and Thousand Oaks, just like you're saying. The horizontal t-shirt kind of extend over here all the way to different cities and counties. The importance of this shirt. Now, I bought this shirt about 6 years ago, a new one, to prove a point that I did nothing wrong back then, and they got, once again, really angry.
And you got it online?
I bought it on the internet, and this is very important. I bought it from christianbook.com.
So clearly it's totally fine.
Correct. If the Christian community does not have a problem with this joke, then what's the real problem with my behavior? Okay. Now remember Seymour's conversation in your office, how I'm trying to provoke people and get reactions.
That's so ridiculous.
Right?
To me.
Well, me going into a t-shirt shop and going, that's funny, and putting it on, people see it and laugh, and some people might get offended. It's not provoking people, it's being part of a community and having a sense of humor.
Right. You're not doing anything.
Yeah, and so the point is that do you really think it's about the shirt, or do you think that's an excuse and justification for them to get what they want?
Exactly, because there's nothing wrong with you wearing a shirt.
Correct.
So.
And remember, even last week they were a couple of the last few weeks they're irate about my alien joke shirt.
I liked that.
Okay? Why would anyone care? It's the only reason is, hey, you're calling Tom Farley a liar. Well, he is a liar. But how would they even know Tom Farley?
They wouldn't.
Right? They wouldn't even know him. They'd be like, Tom Farley, this guy is whatever.
Right.
I don't have time for it, right? They're just, unless they're involved in something, and they are.
No, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Studio City?
Yeah.
Is that where we're at, that one, right?
Yeah. Let's see, Longbotham. Okay, so I'm just trying to...
Sorry.
A couple of last things about the shirt. I was out in Studio City with this shirt. They were playing games once again, this was like maybe 4 years ago, they were playing games. They once again, somehow it's the shirt, and why security guards are following me around because of the shirt. And he was saying weird things like read the sign, which was like in front of...
And what does that mean?
There's a sign in front of where my car is parked that said like no loiter. I don't remember, like, or you can't park here longer. I don't know, something. He was just trying to send some weird cryptic message. It didn't make sense because I'm drinking coffee in the Starbucks, minding my own business while we're watching the same things. Groups of people show up in anger and rage, trying to trigger me to set me up. And the cop comes in pretending to be like I'm your buddy, going, "Oh, I have that shirt, and everyone hates me too." Pretending that it's brainwashing, right? Like
that guy you said that day at we were outside at was this Starbucks? Yeah, near Starbucks in Westlake, when the guy gave you like knuckles because people. Yeah,
the fist punch, and it was because the prior dialogue YouTube, whatever, the video was me showing the Tyson picture. So this guy just walked by, I did that. showing the Tyson picture.
And the shirt you're wearing, the Jewish shirt.
What was the shirt?
The Jewish shirt?
Oh yeah, I was wearing something. What was I can't remember. What was it? This is the way we do it.
Yeah.
So, and they're just jokes. They're harmless jokes. It's a joke for the Jewish community or whatever.
And you are Jewish, so.
And I am Jewish, whatever.
So it's not like you're doing
But Tom
that.
Farley runs around saying I Jewed this guy and I Jewed that guy, using the word Jew is cheap, and nobody's mad about that. And I wasn't even mad about that. I was like, that's funny, whatever, right? And so the point is that why can Tom Farley or anyone else in the world say these things, and Kevin Perlman's being hunted as if he's the president of the United States, secret president of the United States, the Illuminati president of the United States. Okay, so, and people trying to make me think I'm in the Illuminati.
Really?
Yeah, okay, so, anyways, the point is that it's not the shirt.
No.
And I've seen people cruising around with the same shirt. Nobody gave a flying fuck.
No, exactly.
Okay, so Studio City, Starbucks, extremely... Oh, this was actually meant because I thought we were going down to Studio City.
Oh, okay.
Which applies more so to Brian Longbotham and some of the things we're talking about now, but it really applies worldwide anyways. I was saving this for Studio City, but I'll just rattle it off really fast. Black person tells another black person at the Starbucks in Studio City that I was kidnapped as a child and then I kidnapped someone. And I overheard him saying it, and I walked up and I said, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Right.
And he said, "You know." I remember. I said, "You're full of
Really?
shit."
That's
And I said,
weird.
if okay, look at another.
Oh, yeah.
If another strike. If I was, how would you know? I don't know you. I don't know anyone in Studio City.
That's so weird.
And you're saying, remember the argument is that nobody knows me either. That's
So how
the
would you know
problem.
anything, even if that was
So
true?
how does a stranger know that I kidnapped someone? And then when I tell his friend or the guy he's talking to,
Yeah.
he's full of shit, that's not true. And if I kidnap someone, I want names.
And if you were kidnapped too, I think
Correct.
you would know.
I want names. That was what I told the guy. And then the guy got mad, started whistling, and groups of people started showing up.
Because you weren't kidnapped. Like, right, to your knowledge, you weren't. And then you never kidnapped anybody. I know that for a fact. I mean,
I would have to be arrested and go to jail for kidnapping if I
You-
kidnapped someone.
well, you
Okay,
did,
so we have
that's the
another
thing.
girl just walked by with a flower print, although you couldn't see from the back of her shirt, but
Okay.
you'll probably see from there.
but
Who would have kidnapped and all this that's going
nobody.
on?
And you wouldn't do that because you're not that type of person that would do that to
Well,
somebody.
I mean, obviously, but
I just want to reiterate that. So
it takes a lot of work to people.
Not- yeah.
There's not a lot of kidnappers out there, and the ones that are like in life in prison and shit. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, like, hey, we kidnapped you from a bank robbery or something. You know, I mean, you can't use the term kidnapping here. Am I also in human trafficking? And in my house, do I have like 100,000 underage women I forced into prostitution from Mexico or something? You know, it's like
No.
you gotta stick with reality here.
Yeah, and that's
Okay, if I kidnapped someone, I would have gone to jail for kidnapping, and
Especially
this
if
person would have a
people
name.
right.
Right?
Exactly. And yeah, like you said, how would you know anything about anything?
Yeah, so once
So-
again, just lame
Lies.
moronic justifications to try to make me look crazy and stalk me in mass groups and then go, he's crazy, and we're trying to get reactions and this and that.
Right.
Right? Okay, so, I have video of ADT following me to that stuff. ADT security following me to...
Do you need that? I can't read
No. It's PNC Mortgage, and they've been calling me because out of the, 20 years of mortgage payments, I think I owe, $11 on late
You're
payments.
kidding.
Yeah, just some cheese thing, and they never leave messages because they don't want to... They want to talk to me in person to try to trigger me. I mean, I pay mortgage every year. 20 years of mortgage. And it's like you're a little back for $11. It's just being completely
Ridiculous.
They did this before years ago, and the whole thing was he just wanted to goad me into a fight, right?
Serious?
Yeah,
For $11.
yeah.
Wow.
And if it was legit, you could leave a message.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's that big of a deal.
Also, the property I supposedly stolen and this and that, just some of the more of the bullshit, right?
Why? Right.
Just things that just don't make any sense. Okay, so Starbucks employees tell someone to come outside, ripping all the signs off my computer and things like that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
When in Studio City?
This was in Studio City.
Somebody came outside and ripped the
Oh, yeah.
signs off your
Yeah.
computer? Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
That's like damaging your property, right?
Well, it's paper, but it's the
still.
point. It's the aggressive behaviors.
Like, who thinks that's okay?
People that want to get reactions and call the cops.
Right. That's fucked up.
And the cops are telling them to do it.
Right. How is that? Okay. That blows
They're all
my
the same, whether they're
But what did you
100,000
say to them when
striped
they did
shirts or
that?
50 people going like this per hour or the flower print that you're seeing right now on video. They're all the same
Things.
passive-aggressive or aggressive behaviors to get
Correct.
reactions. Now remember, the police's argument, their cover-up lies, are that I'm a violent, paranoid schizo, and they're not going to help me for any reason, even if I come in with 4 tire slashings in 30 minutes.
I know.
Okay?
Oh,
They'll say
that's
I had old
this.
tires.
Right.
Okay?
And okay, so when that happened and they came out there and ripped the stuff off your computer, what did you say? Were you like, what the fuck are you
I just
doing?
pulled out another one and taped it on and
Oh, okay.
kept my camera rolling.
That's great. That's good. I would have been like, what the fuck are you doing?
And then eventually they got pissed because I kept passing out cards to the provokers. Example, every time you see a horizontal stripe here, I'd hand them a card. And then they go, you're not allowed to hand out cards. You're causing a disturbance. And this. No, they wouldn't even say that. They would just say, I don't want you handing out cards.
Right.
And they do it in such a way to try to trigger you. And finally, the girl's like, well, you're not allowed here, blah, blah, blah. We're kicking you out. And I said, you're on video fucking harassing and stalking me and this and that. And then the security guard at the same time gets in my face, up to my face, and I just fucking went off like, you better fucking watch your ass and fucking I have you on video, you Jew-hate piece of shit, whatever. And he finally backed down and fucking...
Was this the guy I saw the video of?
No, I don't think you've seen this one. And remember, I have literally thousands of similar videos because they won't fucking leave me alone. They won't stop.
What happened? What was the result of that? Did the cops get called or no?
No, because they know. Here's the thing.
They know. Yeah.
The cops know that I know what's going on, even though they're not going to admit it.
Right.
The cops know that I have endless video of it.
Right. So they're not going to like instigate.
So
that.
the cops are kind of like, we started this shitstorm,
Yeah.
but we don't want to admit to it.
Right. Why are they fucking stupid? I hate
Who
that.
knows?
That drives me crazy.
They probably just want a reaction. They started this
You got
shitstorm.
one from me, huh?
Well, nothing. Not the kind they
crazy,
want,
right.
but they started a shitstorm. They're stuck in it. They got to cover it up.
Yeah.
They told the entire planet thousands of lies about me.
Right.
They can't tell the truth because what does that say about the police and the government?
And then
That they're
I'll let you
sketchy
know
as
what
fuck
they say.
and lying.
Beyond that, what it says
They're not
is that everything
safe,
that
they're-
Edward Snowden came forward about is true,
Yeah.
even though we already know that.
Right. And then it. What is
That
it,
I am the
like a revolt or
example
something?
of government kill or torture or freaky things that the people don't want to believe or understand or know
That
about.
they want to keep like hidden.
And they don't want chaos of people
That's what I was
holding
wondering.
picket signs saying our government's corrupt.
Right. That like a revolt or something.
Yeah, I don't know, just
Like from you don't.
not a revolt, but
What is it called?
what are they calling people? Activists
Yeah.
saying that the U.S. government are douchebags or whatever.
protest or something?
A protest, large protest that attack the integrity of our political system and who's in it and the things they're doing. They don't want question.
Right.
They want us to be good little slaves and not know about the NSA level
Shit.
freaky things, right? Hence why they went ballistic on Edward Snowden with all the lies. Okay, and so the truth about me exposes that everything they've said are lies.
And they don't want it.
Correct. So they're stuck in a situation.
So the
Finally, they grew enough balls with Dincy, paying off Dincy to fabricate and do all those things he did,
right.
right? With Karine T. Phillips or whatever. But it took 16 years or something. I don't know.
Right.
Right? But they still haven't silenced me. They've sort of cuffed me a little and they're threatening to throw me in jail over and over
I know.
because they don't want me talking, and they're trying to do what all these people are doing, which is provoke me into situations and go, he's a violent, paranoid, schizo, and a public nuisance, more horizontal stripes. And so, right, and so the point is, That's what this is really about. It's not about just shirt.
No, it's not.
Okay?
Yeah.
And,
Not at all.
Eric Christensen was sent after me at Southern Organized State College, and he came in with Sherry Christensen at the same exact time in twos.
Who's Sherry?
Sherry was a girl in Diamond Dorm attached to
She went to school.
Emerald Hall where I was in, and he was in Diamond Dorm, and they both came over to Christensen's, befriending me with the police and working on all these strategic operations to take me to San Diego with the San Diego PD trying to set me up and get all these false coerced confessions with my brother, trying to say I tried to stab him and kill him with a knife as a child and all these things. No, I'm kidding you.
Oh my
Yeah. It never stops. They just keep coming after me. Okay? And let's see, where are we?
The ADT?
So I was thinking the ADT security. I was driving down Ventura Boulevard on my way out to Studio City Starbucks. ADT security sees me. This is all on camera, on video as well. He starts tailing me. And then he gives up and he pulls like to the side somewhere. And then I go for about 4 miles and I pull into the Starbucks and I go out, whatever. And then 10 minutes later he shows up and parks behind me. Yeah, all on video, matching plates, everything. Showing that not only Allied Universal Security, but Golden West Security, ADT, Boyd's and Associates, working with John Paul Narano, hit me 7 times, starting in the back of the head in a row to try to silence me with the police. And there's probably about 10 other security companies all working together, paid off by the police and government to hunt and stalk me for what I know. Even ADT pulling into Starbucks down in Oxnard, saying because I have those signs on my car, they have the right to tell me I'm not allowed on any property anywhere.
Why? What's the reasoning? It's not loitering, is
Well,
it?
his reasoning is that he doesn't like signs,
Yeah.
and a sign is somehow a public nuisance or something. It's a fucking sign it's a website sign on a card. How is it?
Right, people have...
If I put Joe's Plumbing and I go,
Okay.
you're making me hunt you down and kill you because I don't like plumbers, right? That's their argument. I'm doing it to them. I'm making
That's
them.
so
This
stupid.
shirt is making people. This shirt is causing chaos and making people hunt me down and kill me, and it's all my fault. That's the police's argument, and it's my behavior.
That makes no sense.
Okay? So it's fair to say that I'm not safe to wear any shirt. I don't even care if the shirt's just flat red.
Right.
They're going to have a reason, and they have for each thing I've
Or a
done.
hat, or...
Or a hat, or anything. A hat, a ring. I had a Zippo lighter with an ace on it. I was supposedly...
What's wrong with that?
I can't tell you what's wrong with
No,
it,
I
but
just-
so much so that Lady Gaga is pissed off at me, and that one I'm not 100% on, but not like Miley Cyrus.
What
Oh yeah, then Miley Cyrus puts things in the movies directed at me and this and that, and she's on my Twitter feed with all the little subtweets. Oh yeah!
I've never...
So the point is that most likely, without proof, and this is done 80% of media, most likely a large portion of Lady Gaga's albums are based around my life or inspirational thoughts from my private life. And this happens from band to band and group to group and movie to movie, and then it's your imagining.
That's so cool.
And you're a violent paranoid schizo, right?
Oh, you're getting it from
Yeah,
them?
and so people would then play, well, Kevin plays games with people's lives. Okay, so here's another striper. Just like Deborah Baer said in Seymour's office when Sidney trying to scam me into looking crazy, she said, well, you know, the game of the judicial system and blah, blah, blah. And I looked at her like, this isn't a fucking game. Okay? This is my fucking life.
Right.
But they try to turn it around. And they're getting all this weird shit from childhood events. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We go out on a double date. Paul Humphrey goes out with his girlfriend, Carissa Brands. We've mentioned
Yeah.
some of Carissa Brands before, how I supposedly put her in made her check into a mental institution. I'm a horrible, abusive asshole, or whatever, which is the biggest bullshit known to man. And when we're out on a date, her friend, I can't remember her name, is sitting there. I'm not connecting with this girl, and she's really annoying, and she's like in the back of the car or something going, pick a game, pick a game,
What the
pick a
fuck?
game, pick a game, or something, and I'm just like,
That
what
is
the fuck? And this is
obnoxious.
this
What
like
is she doing?
thought in the back of my fucking head. Even I was driving down that street last week, joking around on camera, going, pick a game, and I was
Oh
gonna
my
I was gonna
gosh.
tweet it on Twitter, but I forgot.
Oh, no way.
But
Pick a game.
they're linking. So then, for example, we talked about me zipping off after I let Carissa Brands in Hidden Hills, and I zip off for about a mile because I have a fast car. And then my mother gives me a speech how you can't treat women like shit and this and that.
What?
I'm just joking around. It's harmless.
You didn't do anything wrong.
If you're not safe to joke around with someone and you're an abusive woman beater because of it, but remember, this is a neurotic mother that thinks that any red car will destroy your life that you own, or
Fucking ridiculous. Have you had a red car?
no, I don't think so. I did drive around my father's RX-7 for a while, which was red, but she's neurotic like that, which I'm still trying to get out of it. Can you scoot to scoot over like an inch? Wait, no, the other one. Sorry.
Is that better?
Yeah. Okay. So the
do you want me
point.
to scoot more?
This pole was kind of blocking.
Oh.
I think we're good. Okay. So the point is that what was the point? The point is that these neurotic behaviors, this shirt is launching a worldwide campaign to kill me, or zipping off for 10 minutes away from Carissa Brands when she knows where to go, and it's just a mile up the road, is not the thing that drives people into mental institutions and ruins their life. I mean, example, have you seen the movie Ted? He's joking around, he's smoking out of a dick bong, and he posts a tweet of it, okay? Well, if what I did, zipping off, is so bad, then posting a picture of the dick bong, I mean, that's a capital offense. Right. Okay, so the point is that these aren't, and you're 16 years old.
Right, and that, yes, that's like, oh my god, that's over, 30 years ago?
Yeah, and so they're sort of trying to strategically, Kevin, you can't see yourself. You're a woman beater and an angry, enraged person, and you need to go to therapists and talk about your problems.
Okay.
Or we're going to throw you in jail if you don't deal with your issues because you're a public nuisance and you're acting out in anger and rage.
So you've done everything they've asked you to do.
Well, I was for it. I mean, yes and no.
I mean, you kind of had
you
to.
Can't. Okay, we have more flower print behind you. Listen.
You didn't have a choice.
I can't go to a therapist and tell them that I'm a horrible monster and deserve to have my arms and legs chopped off and bullets put in my head, or slowly tortured to death and killed. Okay, more horizontal stripes. And slowly tortured and killed by worldwide support for what I did, and what I did comes out to be things like, well, you zipped off joking around with your friend on a car for a minute. Okay?
You tapped your foot.
You tapped your foot. Oh yeah, Aubrey Fisher. I tapped my foot by her for 6-year worldwide groups tapping around me for the tapping crime. So when am I supposed to go to a therapist or a detective or an FBI agent and tell them about myself? I'm a horrible monster because I tapped my foot around a girl?
And then you probably don't feel safe even telling them what's going on.
Correct, because anything I say, they're going to try to twist and contort. And if it sounds crazy, they're going to say, this guy's crazy. Or if they can use it against me, they are. Yeah. Because they're not doing this for no reason. Right. Okay, they're not doing it because they believe the bullshit they're pitching. Right?
I'd be like, it is fucking crazy. Because it's like horrifying, like unfathomable.
Correct. You're not safe to tell a joke to your friend. You're not safe to wear a shirt like this. Or, I'm not even safe to wear, I have a shirt that's, I think, blue with black sleeves. Yeah. Oh my god, I committed the black and blue crime. And after that, black and blue or blue cars with black tires show up around my house all day for months at a time. Oh my god. And so if they're coming after you because they don't like the colors with no words on it, they're coming after you because they just want you dead. Not anything else.
They're using anything that
Another here's one I guilted some people on. I posted on my timeline with some guilts. I purchased back in maybe 2002, my father bought me a black Mustang convertible for no reason, and what my father does is he gives me things to try to make it look like
your love or something like that.
No, like he wants to make it look like I'm trying to send people messages, so he'll buy it for me to frame me. Like he bought me a shirt that said like marry something college, hinting about marrying. Okay. And the reason he's buying it is not because he's being giving. No, because he wants to stage the situations.
Ulterior motives.
Correct frame jobs, ulterior motives. So it looks like, hey, my father's cool.
So nice, you want me a car?
Yeah. So he buys you a Mustang convertible, and then he's working some angle about Mustangs or horses. I don't know exactly. Oh, and it was black, probably hinting about something about black people.
How old were you when he bought that? Years ago?
No, maybe 20. No, like maybe like 32 or something.
Okay, so at that time you
Yeah.
already, like knew.
After he found me the house on Juliana Place, hinting about the Julia sent after me, and Julia Hayes things with Skylar. Okay, you get it?
I didn't know if that was like.
Yeah,
very
so what he
young
does
or-
is he has his real estate agent find me the property on Juliana Place, and then he goes out saying to the world, Kevin's crazy because the Skylar girl he thinks is the actual porn star Julia Hayes, who wants to skull fuck me to death with the police. And so now he's moving on Juliana Place, and Kevin's crazy. He's literally making up the psychological lies,
Right.
but at the same time finding me the locations or buying me the cars
Right.
to stage the
Spinning it to
situation.
make it look like
Yeah. So I buy more horizontal stripes. What are we at, like 30 or 40?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And those colors match those colors. Okay. So
Yes, I know. I love that.
where the hell was I? Oh, so I buy some wheels for the Mustang, not knowing this is going on at this point.
Oh,
No,
you were,
this
like,
might have been
starting
more.
to
I
do
think this
it?
was more around 27 or something, because I found out at 29. I found out someone was around 29. I go out and I buy some really cool wheels for the Mustang, and they're called Villain,
Okay.
like villain, Villain.
Oh, okay.
But people, the uneducated, are like villain. And my family's running around saying like I think I'm a villain. I'm a violent paranoid schizo. That I think I'm a villain, and I bought wheels and this and that.
What'd they look like?
They're really cool. I can't remember, the 5-star. They're really cool. They look
yeah.
really good on the Mustang, Wheels look differently on
Yeah,
different
no,
cars.
they do. I was just wondering, like, what color, like, what they look like. Shit. Oh, crap.
Okay, so camera issues. So we were cut off. We were talking about the wheels.
Yeah.
And the point I'm making, you're talking about being safe to live your life. You go out, your daddy buys you this Mustang, and he's working these angles with the world, just like he's sending me at 16. Kevin I got a job for you at Star Auto House Mercedes with Gabby Angle.
But at the time,
And I believe there's a new porn star, Gabby Carter, hinting about
Really?
Richard Carter and the paint gun, whose house it was at.
But at the time, I'd be like, this is dope. My dad just got me a Mustang.
Correct, and that's what you normally think because that's how people think.
Yeah.
And then my dad runs around with his jokes, but he's actually
Serious?
playing a double meaning. He says no good deed goes unpunished, and that is true a lot of times. And it's something we say, but he's actually using it as like 1,000% literal
Right.
to me in secret message.
No good
Does that
deed
make
goes
sense?
unpunished. Yeah, it does make sense.
Like
The
we
whole
always say that.
statement
You go
doesn't-
out. Like last night, I was trying to be friendly with a homeless person, and she's screaming at me that I'm a psychotic.
What does no good deed goes unpunished mean?
It
Doesn't
means
make
like
sense, does
sometimes
it?
you go out of your way for someone and it backfires.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. But like,
You meet a
why?
girl and you buy her a car, and then all of a sudden it just goes
She
south.
takes the rest of your money.
And
sits right
yeah,
there.
no good deed
I
goes
just
unpunished.
don't get it. Like, why would that be a statement?
It's a sarcastic joke that people say because
I'm thinking
sometimes
too deep about it, I think.
sometimes
It's true.
you do something nice for people and it goes south.
Right.
But it doesn't apply to every single thing.
No.
In my life, it does, and that's where things get really strange. Okay, so the point is, it's like, hey, here's a car. Well, no good deed goes unpunished. Now you're a dead man. It's like,
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
yeah, it's all very strange. And
good
he would
deed.
say exactly what I'm telling you. Well, people say no good deed goes unpunished. Kevin's
Right,
crazy. He thinks
right.
differently.
So stupid. It doesn't make even. Okay, I'm thinking.
Do you
too
understand?
deep. No, I do.
The sayings.
I totally. understand
Normally
what
we
you're
listen to sayings and we don't apply behaviors to them. Does that make
Correct.
sense?
Yeah.
Example, Mike Huntley drops paper on my desk stating, I don't even know where he got the damn paper, stating that South Korea makes their population, tries to make people mentally able to control them. Completely untrue. Drops it on my desk. Well, what are you going to think? Do you think this guy is threatening your life? No, you go, what the fuck is this?
You're blocked
Now,
by the pole
the
again.
guy's working with groups of people following around whistling at you at every place and city of the world and tapping their foot, or thousands of people per hour show up with horizontal stripes. Now,
Right, you're like,
apply those actions to the paper dropped on your life, while the guy says, we're using this system against you, you had better live a careful life.
Right.
Okay, now
It's
that paper, the context
It's very different.
of that paper is completely different based on the actions of the people working with him. Okay, so the point I'm making is if you say, well, my father said no good deed goes unpunished, he's a crazy murderer, you're crazy, Kevin, because people say that.
Right.
But now if you apply the behaviors and actions
The
with
whole
what they're
picture,
doing,
Yeah.
it makes sense, but most people can't see that because they're not the target.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Do you want to scoot over a tiny bit? You keep getting blocked by the pole.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know which way is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Perfect. That's perfect.
Okay, so, anyways, the point. Okay, this is
The
the complexity of the
context.
situation. I buy the wheels. I'm now once again confessing, I'm a crazy man confessing that I'm a criminal and a villain
'Cause you like
because
these
I
little
bought
wheels?
some Villain wheels. That's what the name of the wheel. And obviously I'm buying the wheels because they look really
They were some
cool,
sweet
not for the
wheels.
name.
Exactly.
And
And you're into cars. You always have been. You
someone
know.
steals the car
What?
with the police.
You're kidding.
No.
Somebody stole the car.
Someone stole the Mustang and they stole the wheels and they left it
Shit.
down in like Crenshaw, South Central LA.
Serious?
Serious.
Oh my God.
And I go to the impound and the impound guys are whistling at me that I'm a whistleblower and things like that.
Oh my God.
And this is towards the beginning. This is towards like
This is before,
2031
like,
or
it
something.
really, like-
And they're going, what the fuck is going on? Like Huntley's threatening my life. Everywhere I go, people are whistling at me.
Somebody
You
stole
can
my
tell
car.
that they intentionally stole the car, but you don't believe that it's some kind of inside job.
Right. Because why would you?
Yeah, and it's not about I like the wheels, it's about we're trying to get scare you into a confession about the wheels.
Right.
Okay, so now back to our original conversation topics. I'm supposed to go to therapists and tell them,
About your
what am I
life?
supposed to tell them? That
You can't.
I'm a bad person because I bought this shirt, and I'm a bad person because
You
I
can't
tapped
tell
my
them,
foot
like-
around Aubrey Fisher, and I'm a bad person because I guess I'm supposed to admit that I saw an alien at 5 or 8 years
And
old.
even if you said that, like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not like a crime.
Correct. So, well, like, you're right. All these things are trivial, anyways.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you want me to tell you? It's like, whether as Aubrey Fisher would say, I'm cave trolling her, Lord of the Rings, cave trolling her by tapping my foot intentionally or not. Let's just, for argument's sake, hey, I'm trying to provoke you by tapping my foot, which is the most absurd fucking thing known to man.
It is. It's like,
But let's say I was.
who cares?
Okay, and if I'm such an asshole, why do you keep calling me
Right. Then don't talk to me.
and asking me to help you fix this or help you with your photography and me going out of my way,
Or what? Yeah, for anything.
right? And all these things don't jive with the real story.
It doesn't make any fucking
Yeah, so when I say things are twisted and contorted and delivered worldwide on propaganda systems, yes, exactly. Now, why?
That's the question.
Okay, and
Well,
without
because they
knowing
wanna
a
make-
specific, wouldn't you agree that it has to be some kind of insane cover-up type of thing?
Yeah, they're trying to make you be perceived as this thing you are not.
Correct. And what is
Completely.
the only reason that could happen
I hate to say it. It's like because
with the resource? Let me say
upsetting.
that. The only reason that can happen with the resources being used, because
Oh.
there are sickos out there.
Correct, but like this extent, they're like trying to hurt you. They want you.
Correct, but
to,
but as opposed to, listen, if I'm dating a girl and what does they say, a woman scorned, whatever.
Yeah.
And
but
she spray paints your car, cheater.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's what normally happens. Or
Right.
let's escalate the situation. I'm part of a mob family, and I say I don't want to be part of your fucking criminal mob
And
family.
then they kill you.
So a mob guy shows up and he blows my brains out.
Right.
Okay? Everything we're seeing is not one person or a couple of people.
It's
It's
everywhere.
planet-wide.
That's what doesn't make any sense.
That can only happen with government and police systems.
Right, because like I didn't even know that could happen, you know?
Correct.
Because
It doesn't matter how much I or you or they hate someone and want to seek revenge.
they have to
They
be
don't. No one has the power to do what's being done to me.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So it's government, right? Do you understand?
I do. 'cause
Okay.
who was
So
yeah.
let's do the math. If it's worldwide, it's based on endless worldwide propaganda. It starts at 5 years old,
Who has the power to do that?
and the only people that have the power to do it are billions of government dollars.
Right.
Billions. Then it's something on a cover-up level by the government of the United States of America of something they started in on someone, me, at 5 years old.
Right.
Correct?
It's like you're a very important person, I guess.
Well,
Powerful person. They're
it's not
scared-
important.
No,
It's
no, you're right.
the only thing that
Not the
makes me
right word.
important is what they did. Does that make sense?
Yes, exactly.
I'm not important because I'm important. I'm not important because I'm the president. I'm not important because I'm a genius. I'm important because
Because you
I'm an
know.
example of what NSA does to people,
Correct.
and you end up dying from it, and it affects everyone else.
That's what I mean. I don't mean
Yeah.
like in a good way.
Yeah, but it's not my importance. It's the situation they've created.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and so, and they don't want the cat out of the bag. The true
So
version,
they'll go to any extreme. So they'll
Correct.
connect them.
because of the ramifications of what people will think
Yeah.
the
Once
government
truth
really
comes out,
are. And no offense to you, it
It's
links
okay.
straight to the psychology community,
You're surrounded by
based
that your whole
on
life.
labeling and flagging.
This would, yeah.
Okay, Seymour. We talked about this before. How Seymour states that I've been labeled with mental illness by the government.
Yeah, he said that.
Okay, well that's
Really.
highly illegal.
It is.
Okay, you can't go around. My kid has mental illness. We're gonna have
No.
worldwide watch groups on him because you've just taken away his constitutional rights.
And like you said, if somebody came up to on the street and said that to you, you'd be like, "Get the fuck away from me, dude! You're fucking crazy."
Yeah,
Like I feel bad for your
yeah.
kid.
Okay, more stripers.
Yep.
Okay, so
Jeez, there's
so
a
the
shit
point
ton.
is, now without any knowledge, all I know is I was born on an Air Force base, and my father was a doctor on an Air Force. So
And your brother was there too, obviously.
yeah, he was there, but
Was he born there?
I think he's 2 years older than me. I'm not 100% sure, but I think.
So he was a doctor in the Air Force?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the point I'm making is,
That's.
I've never really looked at him like a military person, but
Yeah.
obviously there's probably some
Military
kind of
connections
connection here.
Yeah.
Um,
Right. Because yeah.
Someone he knows or something, right?
'Cause
And
he
remember, he
worked,
has a
yeah.
secondary psychology degree. So think about that,
Right.
right?
He has, yeah, because he.
So there's something freaky going on, probably linking to that.
Right.
But I have no proof of this. I'm just
Well, if it's government, I mean,
Guesstimating.
it would make sense, you know, that there was something. If that's the only like.
being the resources.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just a normal private citizen, look, I mean, families label their kid every fucking day with ADHD. Are these
I
kids
know.
on worldwide watch groups saying,
No.
you're not allowed to eat your soup wrong? You know what I'm saying?
No. It's yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What you're
So
saying.
what's going on is way the hell out of the norm, and it's not legal.
Right. He must have had a very convincing statement. Like, what would he have said to get
Well,
that back
I mean,
in?
remember when you're a parent and you have a 5-year-old that you're gonna look, people are gonna instantly believe you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because the kid isn't developed yet, and this and
You
that,
would
so
think
they're
that.
gonna believe that they're automatically gonna assume that their parents, the kid's parents, are
Know
good, are
best or
good
know-
people and want to raise their child. That's just how human beings work.
I know. You're right. You would think though that somebody would question it a little bit. I mean, I would.
I can't tell you exactly. Okay, more flower prints.
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't
too.
tell you exactly.
I'm just.
Remember, my
speaking.
father's a pathological liar, and I've sat with him,
Oh yeah.
lying to my face over and over, and he tells me things. You invite me out to these lunches with Lorraine Escobar, and you tell me, Kevin, remember when you lit our back hill on fire?
And you're like, no, that wasn't me.
No, that was
actually."
Jason. Kevin, I've been to,
Trying to play like.
God, you know,
false
I went to
memories.
all of your wrestling matches. What are you talking about, Dad? You went to one single match. No, I went to all of them.
False memories. It's like.
Yeah,
he's trying
it's
to
like,
get
what
you
the
to
fuck?
believe Or whatever.
Yeah, and then you have the you know what you did. You're like, wait, but you say, you've been to all my wrestling matches. You've been to one,
You thought I lit the hill on fire.
you think I lit the hill on fire. That's strange. And then there's 100,000 other accusations of other people's things that I also did. Well, now we're really getting fucking strange, right?
Absolutely. When, like, in reality, you did none of that.
Yeah, so is he just saying because he hates my fucking guts and it's like, I want to rid you of the world, right? You know what I'm saying?
Make you question yourself is what it sounds like.
Well, I don't think it's make me, maybe at the
Doubt
end.
it or something.
Maybe towards the end when I'm like, I've held my ground going, I'm a good person, you're full of shit. But in the beginning, for the first 38 years, it was to the entire planet except me.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's strange.
Beyond.
Yeah.
Like,
You're going off to college in different states, cities are told he's crazy, he's done all these things.
beyond.
Right?
Right.
And then the internet comes around in 94 and they have a pedestal to the world and a microphone to the world in secret. Okay, propaganda. So anyways, that's what all this is really about, and they don't want me, first of all, they want to
Exposing
mentally
the
batter
show.
me so much that I can't remember my childhood, so I can't talk about things like
But you do
them
remember.
telling Mr. Quigley to tell me to punch Paul Schaefer
Right.
to make me look like a violent paranoid schizo and things like that.
Right.
Right? That's what they don't want me talking about. That's
The
why,
truth.
correct, the truth. And that's why they're throwing me in jail and this and that
Maximum
to
security.
intimidate me, to try to take down the websites and things like that. And you don't talk.
So you'll give.
Yeah, you go out in public and you stare at your toes and you don't smile or
And
talk to
even
anyone.
then- Even then, there's something wrong because you're doing that.
Yeah, but
Not
as long as
talking
I
to
don't
somebody.
say anything, or they'll lock me away, right?
Yeah.
Well, but don't I have the First Amendment freedom of speech in the case of tyranny or something like that? Or to defend myself,
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
right? Isn't that
Self-defense.
why we have the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States? Isn't that why the First Amendment of the Constitution is the #1 highest, most important constitutional protection, freedom of speech?
Yeah.
So that you can't be overpowered by tyranny and governments?
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
So now you understand.
It's fucked up.
Now you understand. If I walked into this coffee bean right here and simply said, "Here's some cards for you," security
You can
would come
totally
out
do that,
and
though,
police would
legally.
come out
And
and they would say
say
you're
some shit.
causing
Chaos.
disturbances and chaos by handing some people some cards.
It's,
But it's freedom of speech, and there's nothing on the card like
you're not
naked
like
children screwing or anything. You know what I'm saying?
You're
It's
not, you're not like forcing them to take them. You're
yeah,
not
they're
shoving
not
them in their
for. Well, that's
pocket.
not what the judicial system is trying to cover it up with.
Well, that's I know, but
And how do you
like,
force a card on someone? Think
you
about that
shove it in
statement.
their pocket? Like that's it.
That's what one lady tried to do to me, but in order to really force a card on someone, I think you have to like tie their hands down or maybe bash their head in, punch them like 10 times in the skull until they're bleeding,
you
and
have
like
to do force.
like fucking put it in their hand or something and hold their hand like this. I mean, how do you force a card on? Think of the statement. Last night a
no,
girl was
you
telling me
shove
I'm trying to
cards
force food on homeless people.
What?
Yeah.
What the? Where were you?
There's
That's
this whole, I
insane.
believe it was an undercover cop, but
Trying to force food on homeless people? Are you kidding?
I don't want to go too deep, but the story goes, and this started like last month or the month before. I went to the subway on Topanga and Ventura,
Yeah.
which started in on me at the beginning, and then they settled down for maybe 5-10 years, and then towards the end now they've really ramped up their attacks for going to get food.
That's. Oh my god.
There's a homeless guy there, and he's like, you know,
Hungry.
I'm hungry, and can you give me money, and this and that, and I'm like,
I'll buy you a sandwich.
exactly. I went to the subway people. I said, you know what? Buy this, whatever sandwich this guy wants, make it for him.
That's like so nice of you.
Okay?
Yeah.
And he was being a little bit of an asshole to me too, but I didn't.
The subway dude?
No,
Or the homeless guy?
the homeless guy is sort of
Why?
playing the Illuminati games, hinting.
He was
But-
being an asshole when you're feeding him?
Well, I just felt like it was like a
That's-
one-time. It's kind of like the old me. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But remember, no good deed goes unpunished. Okay, so anyways, so I say, you know, make him a sandwich, and the subway people like stall. They won't make him the sandwich.
Seriously?
Yeah, and I wait for like 10 minutes. I'm kind of in a deep conversation with him, even though I know half his conversation is bullshit.
What was he saying?
I don't remember. The same bullshit. I think he was probably talking about Illuminati and how the Illuminati exists. Probably something to that. And I just go, whatever, you know. And then I kind of look up. I kind of get sick of talking to him, and I go, you know, are you making the guy the sandwich? And he said, oh, you know, we're having problems back there and this and that.
How do you have problems getting bread
Right.
and
So
making
Subway
a
just
sandwich?
magically can't make the sandwich for the homeless
Did
guy. Now
their
that's not the
arms
Subway's
break? I
decision.
don't
That's
get
my
it.
decision.
Right.
So finally, after 15 minutes and talking to the guy, I go, you know what? I tried, but I gotta go, and I'm not gonna hang out here.
Why wouldn't they make me a sandwich?
And we're getting to that. Remember that Dincy with the flower groups
they're
walking
shopping.
behind you. Dincy, okay, so
He was trying to put a stop.
okay, so we have 2 more flower prints, and then we have a camo here, and I think there was a second camo about 5 minutes ago. Okay, so remember that the Dincy agenda here
is to get rid of
is
all
to
the homeless
eradicate
people.
all imperfection.
Yeah.
And he has his neighborhood watch groups, and there's this mass chaos, and I'm the biggest target because I've been labeled
Right.
at 5 years old with a mental illness, therefore my kind has to
Can't
be
answer.
eradicated. Well, if my kind has to be eradicated, so do homeless people that walk around asking for change. Do you understand?
He said something about that directly, right? Like trying to.
He said, yeah,
clear
there's all
the-
sorts of things on his Facebook about things like that.
Right.
Whether they're direct or indirect, you can see who the guy is.
Yeah.
Okay, so while the next camo is walking by you,
I didn't even realize that was camo. I thought it was just green.
no, it's camo. So now the groups of camos are showing up. The point I'm making is that I'm a target of the Dincy murder operations because I'm not perfect
Right.
since 5 years old. Obviously, bums and homeless people clutter to the streets, and we can't have that, so we gotta
Where do you
lock
want
them away.
to go? Yeah.
In little cages or whatever, you know. According to Dincy, we got to put them in mental institutions because people with mental illness
Need to be
or the
gone.
homeless need to be put in mental institutions.
That would be like half the world then.
Correct. So we're going to eradicate, like Adolf Hitler, all imperfection, and I'm the biggest target of that. Okay, so here's Kevin, and he's feeding a homeless guy.
That's
Do you
like a
understand?
very- yeah.
All
He's
these
like-
businesses around here think they're really good people.
but they won't.
But they're
feed
going to
somebody.
eradicate the imperfection because they're being brainwashed somehow in these neighborhood watch meetings that these homeless people are public nuisances and this and that.
So they want them to starve.
So Kevin's supporting people that don't have money,
They really wouldn't make that sandwich.
hence the police getting mad at me and
Well, what
the
fuck?
people involved that want to feel important and want power, like the employees at Starbucks or Subway, are coming after me, ramping up their attacks after this
Right.
because I tried to feed a homeless guy. Because if you feed a homeless guy, he's going to be around longer. Do you understand?
Yeah, they didn't want him.
So
there.
they got to stop people like me from supporting imperfect people, whether they're mentally ill or homeless, by feeding them.
Right.
So they have to go after the good people
That's insane.
that keep the homeless alive. Does that make sense?
No. I mean, yes.
I mean, yes and
what
no,
you're
right?
saying makes sense to me, but it doesn't make sense.
Correct. So remember
logically
that
at all.
what was Seymour was talking about NIMBYs, not in my neighborhood and all this?
That's
Well,
so
the
fucked.
city NIMBY agenda around here
Mhm.
is eradicate imperfection.
Isn't that discrimination if they won't make a
It's
sandwich for
worse.
him?
It's what Adolf Hitler did.
Right.
We're talking about discrimination is you can't
Well,
come
by
in my
Subway.
store.
Right. They won't
Okay.
feed him.
You can't come in my store because you're black is discrimination or Jewish or whatever,
Or
or Kevin's
homeless.
kind, or homeless.
Do they have a right to refuse service to anybody?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
But my
Sorry.
point
No,
is,
yeah.
okay, look, there's a difference between I don't want you in your store, my store because you might piss in the fucking corner,
Right. And I don't want
Verse-
you because I don't like you.
versus you're homeless and we're gonna follow you to the ends of earth and lock you in cages.
Right.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Big fucking difference.
Huge. Absolutely.
One is involved in individualism.
Yeah.
My store doesn't want you here, and you're a piece of shit, so I'm gonna Yelp you. Versus everyone.
Absolutely.
And everyone's argument is that
Stripe.
your kind, more stripes,
Yeah.
your kind can't be out in public or breathe,
Right.
or we're gonna have people walk around 100 people in horizontal stripes wherever you go until something really bad happens to you and we can lock you in a cage or kill you, is not the same thing as discrimination.
No.
Okay, that's killing. That's murder. Those are kill operations.
Right.
Okay? I have a dog and it has some gray in its black hair, and I don't accept gray and black hair, so I put a bullet in its head.
That's
It's the same fucking thing. Okay?
a thing about like you as a human being that they don't like.
Correct.
It's
It's the
ridiculous.
hate is not based on public
Anything.
nuisance. The hate is based on you're different.
Right.
Okay?
You are you.
You were born, the label, you were born with a mental illness.
Well, whose fault is that if that is a thing? Like your parents. Like, come on now. You had no choice in being born.
Correct. But and the label is, you were born with mental illness, therefore you don't have the right to live.
Right.
Okay? Or you need to be in a cage.
Then,
but there's no crime.
no,
You're just different.
You're born.
Okay? Do you understand?
You're born, period. That's all
Okay?
you
If you go to a coffee shop, you're wearing nice clothing, you're driving in a 100,000 XKR Jaguar like I did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we don't want your kind here.
What? My kind?
Why?
With
Well, what
a
do you?
nice
What's the
jag and,
problem?
like, right.
Well, we can't tell you, but we're gonna sit here and try make up lie after lie that you masturbated in the bathrooms and you
God,
did
that
this
was so
and you did
ridiculous.
that, and you just keep asking what the fuck is going on because there's no reasoning. Just
No.
like people walking
There's so many
around going
questions.
killing black people or killing Jews because they're black or they're Jewish.
No, that's
Do you understand?
disgusting.
That's what the LAPD here in Dincy, and it's worldwide actually, are doing.
Right. And then there's all these questions that play into that. Like, how would you know what the hell I was doing in the restroom? Number two, how do you know who I am?
And then they tried to spin it and say that I told a girl that I masturbated because they knew that I was onto them and things like this.
It's, yeah.
They went through thing after thing, and then it was I'm sitting in minding my own business and coffee bean. Kevin's watching porn. You can't be here. Security guy comes in, and then I
highly
drive
doubt.
to a different one. 10 minutes later, same thing. You're watching porn here too.
Are you?
No.
Yeah. Okay, you're not gonna be watching porn in a fucking.
And so I was kind of a dick back. I would play because everyone watches movies on their laptop.
Yeah.
I would play Friends with Benefits, the scene where he's talking to the girl in the bedroom, but their clothes are on and things like this.
Yeah.
Because it's like enough's enough. Where do you fucking draw the line?
And that was still like appropriate. It's not-
Correct. There's nothing I've done wrong. They
No,
just.
not at all.
And I'd make up lie. I made up a lie to a coffee bean employee. Told him I hacked someone to trace the trace the
yeah.
language, trace the behaviors, and it went worldwide instantly. Just to see how they would react.
Yeah,
and they tried to play this
test.
game like, well, it's your fault because you said this.
Oh my god.
Listen, man, if someone comes up to me and says, Kevin, I hacked someone, I really don't have fucking time for this shit.
Yeah, exactly. But you were gonna see what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay. So the point is that all the things that I'm proving, they're
Right.
trying to cover up and they're getting angrier and angrier.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like testing a hypothesis and seeing what happens.
Yeah. And then
And
they
you
try to
were
cover
right.
up what I'm doing because everything I'm doing is harmless.
Right.
And everything they're doing is not.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so we totally veered off, but that's fine.
We tend to do that.
Security on this property yells at me. This was, I might skip the studio. Security on Studio City property yells at me that I have to read a parking sign, which didn't make any sense. It was some hint about reading signs. I don't know. I think he was trying to say that I'm trying to force people to read my card or something, which doesn't make any sense.
No, not at all.
Because most of the time when I pass out my cards, it's the people attacking me anyways. I'd really rather not have to pass out the cards.
I know.
Mass parking lot attacks. Yeah, gee. Black person follows. Oh, after this, leaving Studio City Starbucks, black person follows me to the local 7-Eleven. Here afterwards, telling me I had better accept what's going on, with little cryptic death threats. Okay, people trying to make me think this is the Illuminati back down in Studio City, and even someone last month somewhere telling me that most of the people in Hollywood are in the Illuminati.
Good grief. Yeah.
Right? The thought like I'm trying to just snap you into some stupidity or something. I
Right.
don't know. Now notice the green shirt and the snicker on her face. Alright, the green, the black hair and the green shirt is kind of similar to the camo, and she kind of had like a snicker laugh on the face. Right. Okay, Starbucks employee telling me I'm not allowed here because I passed out cards to people after the employers wouldn't stop attacking me in anger and rage while having mass groups come in, and they're on video.
Is that the one where the dude, you were sitting outside and he brought the paper? And then that other
It's one of
security
these
guy was
times.
there?
Remember, keep in mind, and remember I showed you
showed
the
me
folder of coffee shops with thousands and thousands of videos at every
Yeah.
coffee shop in the world. So it's hard to keep track. But for a while I was going down to Studio City and going to the Starbucks there because my plight was I'm gonna get
Your
out
plight?
and
Is that
do.
what- yeah.
my plight was to go out and do different things and go to random coffee shops all over and kind of explore.
Absolutely.
And
live your life.
live my life and be social and get work done on the computer. Things that coffee shops are here for.
Yes.
Which, for some reason, Richard Barnwell says is illegal, and every other lawyer and cop on the planet.
Rude.
And same thing. The same things you're seeing here, same things you've seen in Newbury Park, the same things you've seen everywhere.
Thousand Oaks.
You can't leave your house or we kill you. And you can't order food to your house or we kill you from the food delivery people.
You can't do that, yeah.
Okay,
I have to pee. Do you want me to wait till we're done with this one?
it's 12:13, what do you
I'm
think?
gonna explode in a minute. But if you want to finish this one.
Okay, let's
first.
just start with. I already said this. Police officer comes in telling me he has the same Lord's Gym t-shirt. Universal Studios
Oh, yeah.
right down the street. Import Universal Studios. We'll get to this in a few seconds. Let's let Brittany privately pop.
Maybe that was not the greatest word to use. I don't know.
But Brittany, we have the spy cams in the bathroom, so you better make a perfect pee-pee.
And I was like, that's fucking creepy. Like, you're gonna
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm gonna leave this by you.
Okay, so Brittany has popped.
Much better, thank you. And we have, what
God,
time
I don't
is
even
it?
want to talk about the combustion burgers.
What's that?
It's 12.
2:19. I have to leave in like
12,
10
19.
minutes.
Okay. That would require more time, but my brother used to make. When we were
Spicy
teenagers, my brother and friends used to make combustion burgers. I'm gonna put this in the notes for the next argument.
Okay.
What they were was,
Spicy
according to his story, is that they were cooking hamburgers and they poured some alcohol and like wild turkey
Oh my God.
in the meat and it exploded on the grill.
Yeah.
So their quest after that was to like
Recreate
and get the ultimate hamburger explosion.
Oh Lord.
Later on, I find out that they were using hamburgers as analogies to women, trying to explode women in anger.
Oh my God.
And they were hinting that I, Kevin Perlman, am trying to combustion burger women. Do you understand? Get women to explode in
Yeah.
anger, troll them, provoke them.
That's ridiculous.
Then I get into building cars and my friends take me to Kevin's Burgers.
That was after that.
Next
Stripe.
Striper. Yeah, because I was probably around 14 and he was 16 or something.
Mm-hmm.
He starts making combustion burgers and I go, that's pretty cool. Let's
Of course you
get
did.
drunk off hamburgers and make them explode, whatever.
Right.
Because you're just sort of following the
You're a
leader
kid.
on harmless things.
Exactly.
Little did I know, these staged operations were all about sending the world messages that Kevin is trying to blow up women in anger.
Yeah.
And obviously them naming the restaurant Kevin's Burgers
Right.
strategically, and everyone told to meet there with hot rods, all targeted and aimed at me, Kevin's Burgers. Now I'm not picking up,
Of course you're
because
not.
you wouldn't. I'm thinking, oh, well,
You
that's
think
a
that
coincidence.
was cool or something? I'd be like,
Yeah.
that's my name.
Okay, so the their entire reasoning, once again with this propaganda, is to tell the world that Kevin's trying to blow up women in anger and rage and get women to chase him. Then my brother goes out on their runs, going through drive-thrus with water fire extinguishers and trying to piss people off to get them to chase him,
Oh
saying
my
it's me.
God. And he didn't get in trouble for anything.
No, because he's being
Holy
told,
crap.
this is what's scary. My family's telling him to do it
And blame it on you.
and pin it on me, to the world.
Right.
Then my father goes, you know what you did with these hundreds of thousands of things like that.
Oh my gosh, so he's trying
And
to
you keep saying, what is this about?
Yeah.
And he wants you to,
admit it. Even
he
though it's
wants
not.
to force you into coerced false confessions after enough torture and abuse. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
Um,
everything that he did and was blamed on you was the shit that your dad was
Correct.
trying to
And
get you to confess to.
mentally bludgeon me to death until I say I did these things.
Right. But you never will because you didn't.
Correct.
So
But you understand
I do
the
totally
nature
I do.
now. Something
I
like
bet
Clockwork
flipped with me,
Orange
too.
or
That's so ridiculous.
I'm trying to think there's some better movies like that, but it's
What
still
is
unheard
that
of.
one? Oh my god. Erased or something like that. Where like, have you seen that one with Liam Neeson? Where his whole life is like, they play him this whole time and try to get him to believe that he's someone he's not, and like he's not this doctor who he actually is, and his wife's in on it, everybody's in on it. You should watch it.
No, I've never seen that one.
It's pretty. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he starts questioning, did I lose my shit, or like, is this real? And figures it out actually.
Yeah. Well, think about torture. Like, after a certain point, probably a lot of people are going to just admit to it because they want the torture to stop.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why they say that we're not allowed to torture terrorists, because you're going to get the wrong answer. Right? And you're going to kill people. And so that's the point, is that they think about what's going on here. I've now sat here for 18 years, all day and night. What we're seeing here, what you've seen at every coffee shop,
every single day,
is not only mellow and less aggressive compared to what it's been for me. It's been at every coffee shop, every restaurant, every shopping mall, every person I interact with worldwide, even if I'm talking to them across the internet, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, hiring programmers in Russia, India, Japan, Philippines, you name it.
Work environment, anywhere, everywhere.
All day and night, 24/7, more flower prints, minute by minute attacks until I give coerced, false confessions
that, like,
of insane amounts of psychological torture and never physically touched.
Right.
And hey, the police say it's legal to kill people that way because nobody touched you.
Well, and people have fucking put their hands on you too. So
finally they broke when they realized that I
So what's it gonna
am not going to be quiet about it.
Right. So why don't they just stop? Like, give up already, dude.
Because of the doors it opens.
So they're just gonna do this to
Okay, think about this. Okay,
so, you know what? That makes sense.
Let's throw a number on this. Every location you've been with me in the world, this has happened, even though we've only been in California. Let's limit it to right here alone.
Yeah. Well,
how many people do you think you've seen in the last hour and a half who have tried to provoke me into a situation?
I don't know how many stripes. Like what? 40, 50.
We got stripes and we got flower prints and we got some groupings of camos and black and whites.
Few honks.
Here's another flower print. 2 in less than 1 minute.
Like 100?
Okay, let's say 100. That's probably, in my mind, it's more like 60 or 70.
Oh.
But whatever. What's the difference?
Right.
60, 70, or 100. Now, let's take my numbers. Let's take the lower number. We got 70 strangers, and this is done to me everywhere I go, who have been strategically told on the internet, this is where I'll be, or this is where I'm at, and do these things. Correct? The police are taking my texts and they're disseminating it to these people saying, use his life against him. If I surf the address here on the web, they're using that against me. They're coming here, okay? 70 people, 70 strangers from different families in this local area.
That's what's mind-blowing,
okay,
isn't
well,
it?
70 people, they all have to have families, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how many people are in one person's family down the chain of people? Let's say...
To the fourth power or some shit.
Yeah, let's say 10 to 20 family members. From some
like
siblings
70.
and grandkids and grandparents.
It's like 700.
This one person, out of 70 people, one person, let's say they're associated with 20 family members.
It's like 1,400 people.
Okay.
Right?
Are you doing the math? What's 70? 70 times 20 is...
Yeah. 14, right? 7 times 2 is 14.
Is that 140 or 1,400?
1,400.
Okay, 1,400 people from an hour's time right now will be affected by the truth coming out to show that they are associated with complete trash and douchebags that have come here to have me killed for what I know, or based on labels that we believe that you suffer from mental illness, and that could mean anything. I mean, that could mean like I have some anxiety that everyone has, maybe some ADHD, or it could even mean that, let's just, for their argument's sake, say I have some schizophrenia, even though that's not true. None of these things matter in the world of, that person needs to be hunted and killed because he has anxiety, or he doesn't have anxiety, or I think he has anxiety, or
schizophrenia or depression or whatever it is.
It doesn't matter. That's the point, because people do have anxiety, depression, and And most of the time, it's just temporary fluctuations anyways.
And some people do struggle with it, like
Correct.
lifetime-wise, but they're not committing crimes. It's not a crime to have a mental illness.
Correct.
At all.
And let's talk about Tom Farley. He's supposedly a speed addict and alcoholic, but he's not being hunted by worldwide campaigns to kill him.
Exactly.
Okay, so the point is that these are flagging and kill operations, and out of these 1,400 people in 1 hour, that's just here. They're all going to be affected because the person that came here to hunt me and stalk me is going to be known as a murderer. Do you understand? A murderer. Okay? I'm not dramatizing the statement. All the people that have come here in flower prints, black and whites, camos, and horizontal stripes are involved in attempted murder. Okay? You can't sugarcoat a turd here.
You could try, but it's still a shit.
Okay?
Yeah, no, it's crazy that everyone will fall in line like that, you know.
Okay,
But
so
we've
now,
talked about that,
if we do
but-
the math, and we're not even talking about the cars and parking lots
No.
backwards and twos and all that, I bet if you drove back there behind these buildings, you're gonna see tons of cars and twos backwards.
Probably.
Okay, we're just talking about the 70 people right here in front of us. Now, how many places do you think we've gone to? Let's say 10?
12, something like, yeah.
Let's say we've been to 10 places. That's 1,400 times 10.
So what is
Do you understand?
140,000, right? Wait, put one more
I
zero.
totally lost.
14,000.
I thought we said 14,000 before.
1,400.
14. Oh yeah. Okay, so now more flower prints. Okay, so now, and sitting in front of us, more flower
I couldn't
prints.
tell if that was flowers.
Okay.
It is, I think.
Okay, so now 14,000, just from me going to coffee shops with you, 14,000 people and associated with their families are involved in hunting down and killing Kevin Pearlman. Think about that.
That's appalling.
Now, let's talk about
Multiply
reality.
that by like
Let's
every
talk.
day, every
Correct.
place you
Let's
go.
talk about reality. Now I have video all across Southern California of cars backwards and twos and threes, identical cars like 2 red Mazdas backwards together,
Or the
all
big
the way
trucks.
from Oxnard down to San Diego, pulling into lot after lot with my car DVR and documenting on DVR and talking into the camera. Okay, now we've just taken the 14,000 people in front of me,
Multiply
and we now multiplying that
infinitely
by, what is that, about 1 million per city? And that's not the family members. That's the direct people. So now we have 1 million per city,
basically. Right.
okay?
That's yeah.
Now remember, this isn't just California. I
what I was
have
gonna
this
say,
in
Oregon,
Vegas and
Colorado.
Florida and Oregon.
Colorado.
I've went out with police abuse all across the U.S. proving this.
Washington D.C. Yeah.
Washington, D.C. We even walked in front of the White House. A planetary scale of people involved in murder operations to kill one person for no reason other than at 5 years old we threw some kind of label that we think he has some kind of mental illness, and we can all debate what mental illness is and isn't.
It really doesn't fucking matter.
And it's really irrelevant, because what does that have to do with the tea in China? If I'm 29, have my own company,
You're a good
I go to
person.
the gym for cardio in the morning and lifting in the evening,
Right.
I'm socially active.
Yeah.
Whether you want to say I have mental
doesn't
illness or
matter.
label something as mental illness is completely irrelevant. It's just an empty label,
Completely irrelevant. Exactly. Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
You might as well say I'm Jewish and I have dark skin and I don't have the right to live, because it's the same exact argument.
Yeah.
Okay, so the point is, now what was the original question? What are they trying to cover up?
Yeah.
Well, if these 70 people here each have 20 members and they don't want each 20 member to say,
Then it goes worldwide.
you're
really
a piece
quick.
of shit murderer and I don't want to talk to you and get the fuck away from me.
So like what's happening to you and those numbers would happen to them in the same numbers, basically, if it comes out.
I think it's actually an unheard of situation, because what they're doing is the same thing as Adolf Hitler,
Right.
except Adolf Hitler, where things get really weird, Adolf Hitler obviously committed mass genocide. This is sort of opposite. This is a planet of people trying to kill one man.
Right.
But think of the ramifications. It's 1 billion times worse than what Adolf Hitler did.
Right. And then
Because-
those people, if the truth came out, then those people who were against you would be with you against the government, right?
Correct. There would be,
That's what
I don't want to see actual chaos, but
It would be.
mental chaos, like there would be all sorts of, you're a psychologist, there would be shame, there would be anger, there would be rage towards the government, there would be shame, this neighbor's pissed off at that neighbor, this family's children, this family has children, and the child is known, just like
fear, it'd be fear, a lot of fear.
The Nuremberg trials, right? Okay, I know you have to go, so
sorry. Nuremberg trial?
Yeah, example, people are still arrested for war crimes, or have been after the war ended, for being like Nazi murderers and things like that after the fact,
right?
Because they took part in the crimes, and they're labeled and known as Nazis that took part, and these U.S. citizens that took part, especially the key players that took part in trying to have me killed, would be labeled on something on that car,
and still have the punishment.
Unfortunately, not for war crimes, because this isn't a actual real war, but it's the same type of thing.
Yeah.
It's just done in such a way that they can get away with it.
Right.
Okay, so think of what that would do. Okay, so now you have children, and let's say you have a children of one of these war crime Nazis. Let's say the child's born in the U.S. because they fled here.
Everyone is.
Right, the Nazi fled to the U.S. He has a child. The father is arrested for war crime, Nazi war crime. Now, what is that kid? Example, what are all these people's kids going to think of them for what they did to Kevin Perlman in history? Do you understand?
Yeah.
So,
and it trickles down.
Now, you ask why don't they want the truth coming out?
Exactly. That makes sense, yeah. No, I understand when you put it like that.
Yeah.
It's like huge perspective, and the numbers are insane.
This isn't some guy that had a bad day with a couple of bullies. This is a worldwide. The things you're seeing, I've dealt with all day and night, 24/7 for 18 years, and they've been going on since 5 years old on changing types of tactics.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's unheard of.
It is.
It's way beyond anything imaginable, fathomable, precedented. It all starts out with some kind of weird, freaky label.
Exactly.
Okay, so Brittany's gotta go.
Monday though.
We veered off the notes, but I think we talked about some good topics.
Yeah.
And so Monday, and that's it. We'll cut it short. She's got to go. Any closing statements?
No, that was good.
Okay.
It's insightful, actually.
No, that was good. It was where we're at.
It was insightful, yeah, about the numbers and stuff.
Yeah, so you understand the magnitude. Note the striped shirt over there. I think I saw him a few seconds ago. There's some stripers walking on the other side, and third stripers, horizontal stripers here. There's stripers there, and there's stripers here. So stripers are showing up. There's a fourth. Oh shit. Okay, look at the stripers. Okay, groups. There's about 4 in a few, all timing it too. Yeah, I need to grow. I'm trying to stretch and grow. Yeah. Okay, so stripers are showing up. I think, no, this girl's not a striper. Yeah, she is. Okay, there's a 5th striper, all entering horizontal stripers right here. And there was another one walking out. So 5 stripers within less than 1 minute. And I think I see one coming out. Okay, so let's see. Where is Brittany? That's 15 minute. If we go here. Okay, so first let's find Brittany. I don't know where she is. Okay, so on the other camera and on the DVR, we have something like 70 people showing up. Mass groups, striped shirts, horizontal striped shirts, mass flower prints. Some of the smaller tactics, groups of black and whites, groups of camos, and a couple of people running their hands through their hair as they walk by me. I think there's only 2 of those. Brittany has witnessed it. It's completely unheard of, unacceptable. We had the Allied security guy kind of cruise down and walk into Daphne, or the salad farm, I think, or salad farm. And a couple, 2 Mercedes pull up, parking over here by where we were sitting together, one next to the other. And Brittany clearly saw it and was like, oh my god, you know, and that's all on camera. Okay, we have the striped shirt over there. I think I saw him a few seconds ago. There's some stripers walking on the other side. And third stripers, horizontal stripers here. There's stripers there. And there's stripers here. So stripers are showing up. There's a fourth. Oh, shit. Okay, look at the stripers. Okay, groups. There's about 4 and a few, all timing it too. Yeah, I need to grow.
I have a long extension for you.
I'm trying to stretch and grow.
That's a validation, man.
Yeah. Okay, so stripers are showing up. I think, no, this girl's not a striper. Yes, she is. Okay, there's a 5th striper, all entering. Horizontal stripers. Right here. And there was another one walking out. So 5 stripers within less than 1 minute. And I think I see one coming out. Okay, so let's see. Where is Brittany? We go here. Okay, so first let's find Brittany. I don't know where she is.
Parking mode on. Parking mode off. Parking mode on. Starting normal recording. Parking mode on.